Mystery object seen over Pilbara. Aussie miners left stunned after mysterious triangular object spotted in Pilbara sky. A group of miners working in one of Western Australia's most remote regions have been left baffled after witnessing a strange airborne object that they believe could be a UFO. The sighting occurred at around 5 am on December 7 near Fortescue Metals Group's Solomon mine site in the Pilbara region. Now it's time to dig deeper and understand the full story through this AI podcast.
Welcome back to the deep dive. You gave us a snack of sources detailing some really unusual activity over one of the most remote places on Earth, Western Australia.
That's right. And we're going to take that documentation and turn it into insight for you.
Because according to your material, this whole region is becoming a focal point for something, well, something truly bizarre. We're talking documented, unexplained aerial phenomena, or UAP.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is that we're not looking at, old historical accounts or some blurry backyard photo.
No.
We have specific, very recent and detailed accounts. And they're from professional people in secure environments. It just paints a picture of a consistent, really baffling pattern that's unfolding.
Exactly. So our goal today is to give you a shortcut to understanding this growing mystery. We're going to unpack the details of a particularly compelling recent sighting.
The one they're calling the Pilbara Triangle.
That's the one. And then we'll put it into the much broader context of other high strangeness aerial and space-related incidents that have been happening all across WA. We're just moving beyond the noise and getting straight to the documented facts.
And we should just jump right in. The sheer specificity of this most recent event. I mean, this sighting didn't just happen in some suburban neighborhood under streetlights or something.
No, not at all. This is deep in the bush. So picture this. We are near the Fortescue Metals Group's Solomon mine site.
Which is pretty much the definition of remote.
Oh, completely. It's deep in the rugged Hammersley Ranges. It's 5 in the morning, December 7th. You've got 6 miners traveling together, wrapping up their shift, and they're heading from their lab work site back to the bus.
And this specific environment, it's just so crucial for context, isn't it? These workers, they're not only professionals, but they're used to this place.
Right.
They see military aircraft.
Right.
They see industrial drone activity. They probably see atmospheric anomalies caused by dust and heat. They get it. Their baseline for what's normal is already incredibly high.
So let's unpack the moment they actually saw it. You've got 6 people in a vehicle moving through that landscape just as the light is coming up.
Gone.
And the object was first noticed by the people in the front seat, just sort of silhouetted against the sky. And right away they said it looked weird.
Well, the first step in any sighting is normalization, right? You try to make it something you understand. So the driver instantly tried to apply the most common logical dismissal for anything weird in the sky.
It's a cloud.
It must be a cloud. It's just the brain trying to save energy by finding a standard, easy explanation.
But that attempt failed almost instantly. The witnesses, all of them, collectively dismissed the cloud theory. They noted the shape was, and I'm quoting here, far too defined to be natural.
And to have 6 people instantly agree that the edges are too sharp for a cloud, I mean, that's a powerful piece of evidence right there.
It really is.
If it had been ambiguous at all, that rationalization would have held, but it didn't.
So that brings us to the actual description. And this is where this, very local sighting suddenly plugs into a huge global library of UAP reports. The source material says the object resembled a triangular craft.
The triangle shape. We see that again and again in these high strangeness sightings all over the world.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate for a second. Why the triangle? What makes that shape so persistent in these reports? Is there like a known aerodynamic reason why an advanced craft would use that shape, or is it just anecdotal, witness bias?
That's a really important question. If we look just at the science of propulsion, and we're assuming these are built non-natural objects, the triangle often relates to low observability tech, stealth technology.
Right, like a stealth bomber.
Exactly. Or maximizing lift-to-drag ratios at high speeds, or maybe even non-conventional propulsion systems that need to be housed symmetrically. But the consistency of the shape is what's so baffling. It suggests either one common, very successful design, or, like you said, a very powerful shared expectation among witnesses.
And in this case, the workers, they did try to cycle through other plausible explanations on the ground.
Of course.
Someone suggested a medical evacuation helicopter, but the source material notes that theory was quickly dismissed by the group. Why? Because the object was in no way shaped like one.
And that's critical. They're in a mining region, a high-risk industrial zone. They know exactly what a medevac chopper looks like, even from far away.
Absolutely.
So if they rule out the cloud and they rule out the life-saving emergency vehicle, they're left with this massive question mark just sort of hovering over the Hammersley Ranges.
And here is the key detail that really anchors this incident. One of the workers, a man named Afrasiab Khan, was able to get his mobile phone out.
Right.
And he actually captured photographs of the object. He got the visual documentation and his immediate recorded reaction telling his colleagues, that is a genuine UFO, guys. It encapsulates that moment of profound realization.
Yet as a moment, the rational, predictable environment of the mining site just completely collapses into the unexplained.
Yeah.
And significantly, the source notes that no official explanation has ever been provided for this sighting. The evidence is secured, the witness accounts are consistent, and yet the incident remains totally open to speculation.
So we have a clear, distinct sighting of a defined craft, documented by 6 miners, photographed, and just left unexplained. But let's pivot for a moment, because what makes this Pilbara event so unique is how it fits into a string of other incidents.
It's part of a pattern.
It adds to what the sources call a growing list of unexplained aerial and space-related incidents all across Western Australia. It forces us to ask, is the Pilbara a one-off, or is WA becoming, I don't know, ground zero for anomalies?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the sheer temporal and geographic proximity of these events, it really does suggest a regional trend. Let's look at the 2 events that happened right before the Pilbara sighting, starting with the Newman debris. That was just 2 months prior.
This one occurred near the town of Newman, another big mining hub in the area. But this incident was different. It wasn't a moving craft in the sky. It was the physical discovery of a large black object found burning in a remote area.
Physical evidence. That changes everything. It necessitated an immediate response.
A big one. The object was large and potentially hazardous enough that the WA police launched a multi-agency response after it was found.
So this wasn't just a quick cleanup. The police officially stated that the debris appeared consistent with known space re-entry material.
And here's that crucial caveat again, which just echoes the ambiguity from the Pilbara case. The official statement immediately followed up by saying the object's origin was not immediately confirmed.
And that gap is enormous. If they know it's consistent with space junk, what specific piece of confirmation is missing?
Exactly.
I mean, this is a deep dive moment right here. When authorities say consistent with space reentry material, they're talking about the composite alloys, heat shielding material, that kind of thing. But when they say origin not immediately confirmed, that means they cannot confidently attribute it to a specific launch, a specific nation, or a specific satellite they were tracking.
So something big and burning fell out of the sky near a sensitive industrial site.
And they can't definitively tell us whose it was or where it came from. I mean, that leaves a massive hole in our aerial surveillance and tracking capabilities.
And just before the Newman debris, we had case study 2, the Geraldton Lights. This happened near Point Moore in Geraldton, about 420 kilometers north of Perth. This was really the opening act in this recent series of events.
Yes, the strange lights. Residents reported seeing them just moving across the night sky. Unlike the Pilbara Triangle, this was an array of lights seen by a lot of people across a huge area.
And the impact was immediate.
Oh, yeah. The Perth Observatory got flooded with reports from a wide area, which means people from multiple vantage points were all seeing the same thing. The spokesperson for the observatory even described the event as very confusing.
So we now have 3 different types of these high-visibility anomalies, all happening within months of each other, all in the same region. You've got a solid triangular craft.
Unconfirmed space debris.
And confusing, widespread moving lights. What stands out to you when you look at the official response to all 3 of these?
The biggest takeaway for me is the pattern of non-explanation. The official response is defined by what the objects are not, rather than what they are.
Good point. For the Pilbara Triangle, they say nothing. For the Newman debris, they confirm the material type, but not the owner. The official ambiguity is the central theme here, isn't it?
Absolutely. The official response, or really the lack of one, it creates what we call an informational vacuum. And this is most explicitly shown by the ruling on those Geraldton lights.
Right. The Department of Defense had to get involved in that one.
They were forced to because of the sheer volume of reports and the immediate public assumption that it was military exercises.
And their confirmation was definitive. The Department of Defense officially confirmed that no military training exercises were taking place in the region on the night the strange lights were observed.
Which is a deeply significant move. They are sacrificing the simplest, most conventional explanation available to them.
They're giving up the easy out.
Completely. Military denial of activity is usually the first place governments go to dampen curiosity. By ruling it out entirely, they are confirming that whatever was making those lights, it was not theirs. It falls outside their conventional operations.
And that's the critical thinking moment for you, the listener. The Defense Department's confirmation tells us what the lights weren't. Not flares, not night drills, not military jets, but that denial gives you absolutely zero insight into what they were.
And that vacuum is exactly what fuels the curiosity. As your source material highlights, it's certain to further fuel Australia's ongoing fascination with UFOs and mysterious objects in the sky.
We have multiple highly visible events across Western Australia that just can't be pinned down by the usual official means.
You have photo evidence of a solid object seen by 6 people, confirmed debris of unconfirmed origin, and lights seen by many that were definitively not military. The only consistency is that there is no conventional consistency.
So let's quickly recap the implications of what you now know. You've gone deep on the Pilbara Triangle, the specific photographic sighting of a defined triangular craft. You've seen how this fits the pattern, contextualizing it with the unconfirmed space debris near Newman,
Which was found burning just weeks after the widespread Geraldton Lights incident.
where the Defense Department had to take that unusual step of confirming they were doing no military activity at all.
So the core knowledge takeaway here is that the source material demonstrates a current and growing phenomenon in Western Australia. Defined, unusual aerial sightings are happening without clear or confirmed official explanations.
And this isn't just a list of 3 bizarre events.
Not at all. It's a confirmed pattern of official ambiguity that's forcing independent inquiry in a way that really hasn't happened in Australia for decades.
It's a vast and unforgiving territory out there in WA. And that kind of leads us to our final thought for you to mull over. Given the sheer immense remoteness of the Pilbara and surrounding regions, does that lack of population and tracking infrastructure actually make it a magnet for things?
Whether those things are natural, highly classified terrestrial projects or something truly anomalous that's just hard to track and identify.
Or does it simply mean that when an anomaly is spotted in such a quiet, empty area, it instantly gets heightened attention precisely because there are no other background explanations to mask it?
So you should consider the powerful role geography plays in these types of high strangeness reports and, how isolation can impact the credibility of a witness.
Until next time, keep digging into the details.
Okay, one question for you. Why haven't authorities or the Department of Defense provided an official explanation for the sighting? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.